Level 1, the halls. Difficulty, a fifth, a comparatively safe level, yet the lack of sustenance and anomalous resources make survival here a grueling experience. Entity count, a fifth, while sparse. A variety of stray creatures and anomalous entities do wander these halls, just as lost as humans. Chaos gradient, a fifth, level 1 is prone to splicing, with individuals falling into this reality against their will either from the baseline or other limb spaces. Bassett-Fraser Index, the fifth, expect the most common dangers to be simple exhaustion or starvation, but always be prepared for other acute or undocumented entities. The halls largely consist of a single biome, a flat plain filled with the stink of the moist carpet, the mono-yellow, and endless background noise of the fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz. It is an expansive desert that swallows anything. The halls distribute all they encompass across infinity, making life here solitary in a way impossible to imagine. It is immeasurable cosmic loneliness, your waking moment akin to float adrift in the space between galaxies. There is no wind or sunlight in the halls. The air is still, and the walls are struggling. They are interspersed only rarely with landmarks that, instead adding a reason, purpose, or explanation, only perplex and mystify this reality further. It is a wallpapered world, lit with fluorescent lights and reminiscent of a 1990s office left to atrophy and rot without upkeep and stretching outwards forever. Some take to calling it limbo. It is a fitting name for a reality that seems to exist solely to challenge reason and stretches for so far in repetitive monotony. But there are paralogic features of this limb space that stand out against the wallpaper labyrinth, and we detail them within the records of the sub-layers of Level 1. It is known that there are great scarlet oceans of toxic carpet fluid which extend across the horizon as far as the eye can see. There are sometimes deep eroded caverns hidden underneath the carpet, and people have found large swaths of pitch-black zones where the lights have no power. Some rooms have been found with massive cylindrical shafts with steel-plated walls that reach impossibly high and burrow to unknown depths through the ceiling and floor. There are rooms that are damp and covered in mushrooms and unique flora. These areas add a strange feeling of ecology to the otherwise featureless rooms. Feeling of ecology to the otherwise featureless rooms, known only to those who wander far enough into the lost, deep sections of the halls. The more we know about this limb space, the better we can survive in it. Exploration into these unknown biomes can be dangerous, but the future of the Ankh-Buber may rely on the knowledge of what lies beyond our understanding, knowing that the cure to limit or an exit to baseline may be lurking just behind the next corner is what drives us to search ever further into Level 1. It is a noble pursuit that runs deep in our blood to explore and answer these questions about new environments we encounter. To the new well-established communities under the Ankh-Buber, Cartesian Valley-sized chances of two individuals meeting in infinity are nil. Yet within the halls humans coalesce into pockets of society incredibly often despite the circumstances. How is this possible? There are many theories as to how these communities manage to come to pass. Life will always find a way. Despite the halls having scarce resources to sustain human life, the hardiest survivors manage. Over time and through the efforts of unification under the Ankh-Buber, and just a little luck, a certain degree of societal presence has been created in the halls. The halls are simply the first of many levels within the backrooms. It is a vast and branching reality of nested infinities within one another known as levels. Levels lead to other levels in chains and clusters of connected limb spaces which make up the tangled network of the backroom system. Neighboring levels, there are countless exits out of Level 1 which lead deeper into the system. They manifest in three common ways: gradients, gateways, and rifts. They are littered across the mono-yellow labyrinth in mysterious corners and swathing open land borders. Understanding the nature of how levels connect is paramount to understanding how to navigate neighboring levels and find one's way around the backrooms. Recognizing that points of egress may lie nearly anywhere to the keen eye may be the difference between life and death for a wanderer low on resources. The ways levels commonly intersect are below. Across expansive gradients, neighboring levels can blend into one another over time, gradually transitioning across subtle changes in geography. These gradients lie on the blurry borders between levels, creating large bridges between realities as the features of both levels mix. Connected by unstable rifts, the less commonly encountered method of travel between levels is through natural rifts between reality, similar to what causes people to splice into Level 1 in the first place. Unstable areas of limb space can sometimes create rifts between levels, which may be permanent or fleeting, one-way or reliable back and forth. Through stable gateways, some levels are connected at singular points, like a common doorway, but leading to a new reality behind the door. Gateways are often stable and reliable single points of access from one level to another, but can be easily mistaken for any other feature of the landscape. In these ways do parallel realities physically collide within the backroom system. But do not be mistaken, exits, although numerous, are still distributed across an infinity. Some wander for years or even lifetimes across the desert of the halls who never encounter and egress into a neighboring space. Chances of stumbling across a gradient or gateway are terrifyingly slim. Happening across a rift is even more astronomically unlikely. Level chains in travel, one level may lead to another, which in turn leads to another, deeper and deeper into the system, nesting infinities within one another ad infinitum like a Menger sponge. Or Mandelbrot set. A series of levels that connect in sequence can be known as a level chain, and commonly traveled roads between levels can be rudimentarily mapped to connect the pockets of society between levels. The first road, known as the quantum stable chain, leads through 12 levels to the scorched metropolis of the late Eye of God. Other level chains branch out in their own directions, sometimes intersecting neighboring chains along the way, sometimes not. There are neighboring levels which, at their current time of discovery, as dead ends with no known further exits into deeper levels beyond. Some chains loop back to the halls in time, making reliable travel between 2 points of level 1. For some, a nomadic lifestyle is more agreeable to staying put in one place. There is trade between levels made possible by the hardy and well-traveled porters who choose a more solitary, on-the-move way of living. Limspace is a large and expansive place, but it is communication that maintains our humanity. Porters keep the spirit of connectivity alive by visiting settlements across levels for the trade of both materials and stories. In many ways, the wandering porters are responsible for evolving the cultures of the Yonk's far-flung settlements. Entering the backrooms, no one comes here by choice. The backroom's limspace system is a cosmic prison that fills its confines with lost material and unsuspecting and careless people through an unsettling and unstoppable force known as splicing. It is a one-way ticket to purgatory, a funneling siphon that makes people disappear from baseline and brings them here, to the halls. Every 15 seconds in baseline, a person goes missing. 1 in 10 are never found or identified again. How many of those people simply fell through reality, spliced into the backrooms? In a more clinical description, splicing is the event in which something is instantaneously transferred from one reality to another. Save for extremely rare exceptions, it occurs by random chance or against an individual's will. Despite being unexplainable, splicing is an event that befalls everyone in the backrooms who was not naturally born in them, and as such has developed many colloquial names due to its strange familiarity: no-clipping, phasing, rift hopping, deliverance, and a plethora of other terms try to explain the phenomena. The cause of splicing is still unknown. Theories have suggested its caused to be a host of different things, from the result of a simulated universe to temporary wormholes to everything else in bet. But there are a few things we know for certain. Firstly, that level 1 is a special limspace in the way it entangles with baseline. Single known occasion of splicing into the backroom system was into the halls, and secondly, that splicing has a direct, observable effect on living things that undergo the process. And secondly, that splicing has a direct, observable effect on living things that undergo the process. Once you have spliced into limspace, there is no return to baseline. The only known escapes are to venture deeper into the backrooms or death. Levels connected to the halls. Level 2